Hey y'all, Jill here and welcome back to Whispering Willow Farm. I am in my cottage garden this evening and I am sure many of you caught our vlog just a week or so ago, I guess, when our beloved sheep found their way into my cottage garden and destroyed everything. I was devastated. I cannot even tell you just the rush of emotions I had when I saw them in here, because I've spent so much time and energy pouring everything I have into this space and just cultivating a space that is a sanctuary for me and my family. And while I was completely devastated, I quickly realized you cannot cry over spilt milk, and I decided I would make the most of it and move on. I've received so many sweet emails and comments about that. We just recently came back from the Homestead Festival, and so many of you guys hugged my neck and just said, oh, I've been there, I have felt that, and sent me so much love. Well, you guys, a miracle I never saw coming. The cottage garden is starting to regrow. Now, I do have several beds where those stinky little sheep ripped up the plants by the roots, and those are pretty much a goner, but I mean, so much is starting to grow. I thought by, they demolished all the foliage of my echinacea, and I didn't know how it would do. I did have to end up ripping out a few plants, but it's still producing coneflowers and echinacea. It's looking beautiful. So much of my celosia and my statice and even my gumfrina and starflowers, they're starting to grow back and put on new foliage. And so while we might be a little delayed, I am so encouraged that it's growing back. And probably the biggest miracle of all, I was mainly bummed about my pink dandelion. I'd spent months trying to germinate these seeds. I only got 3 to germinate out of my entire seed packet, and they demolished them. In fact, when I got to the cottage garden, I saw 0. There was not any bit of these pink dandelions left, and when I came out here this morning, I saw new growth. And so I think to me it's just a testament of how faithful the garden is. You plant a seed and it will just keep producing abundance and be faithful to you. And so this was such a pleasant surprise to come home to. I'm literally on cloud 9. I feel like the cottage garden has just been like reborn. And I am so here for it. So let's harvest some herbs, take them inside and dry them. We are going to be later making different teas and tinctures and salves out of these. So I'm really excited to kind of share the start to finish part of this. But the sun's starting to set. It's not 100 degrees out here, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to take you guys with me and show you what's going on as we harvest. So my pansies are starting to grow here in the green stock, which is a sigh of relief. My borage here, I'm not sure that's coming back. My lettuce is kind of maybe slowly coming back, but a lot of that down there you guys can see. But I've actually been pressing these. That is something I'm really getting into, is pressed flowers. I'm doing this with all of my clematis and just various flowers. These actually press really well. It's all those thin flowers that do really well. It's the thick ones that you got to watch out for. So we'll harvest these as well. All right, first things first, got my tool belt on, my handy dandy harvesting basket. I actually scored this at like a local thrift store for $5-6, I think. It's a great little addition. If you ever see these are great for harvesting, but check out that beautiful color. Check out my dill. So when dill starts to flower, it will produce these umbels, which is what this is right here. Many flower farmers will grow these for cut flowers, myself included. And so I'll let them actually flower like this, and then we'll use them in arrangements. Probably sometime this week though, I'll be harvesting a bunch of the dill right here, and we'll be freeze drying it. That way I can use it in my ferment since it is already starting to flower. right, so the echinacea is covered in bees right now, which is so great. So I'm gonna let them keep pollinating and doing what they're doing. And we're gonna move over and start harvesting our yarrow first. So originally I'd grown this yarrow to dry and use as a cut flower. But I am gonna be using some of this for medicinal purposes because I have been reading up on just how powerful of an herb it is. And so we're gonna be harvesting some of this and doing a lot of stuff with that, as well as all of our calendula. And I think, fingers crossed, my chamomile is gonna make a comeback. Look how beautiful that is.
Mm-hmm.
Has a pretty distinct smell though. You want to smell it?
No thanks.
I recruited the one and only to help me out.
One and only, for sure.
There's a few different ways you can dry calendula. You can air dry them, which apparently takes the longest. You can put them in a dehydrator, which a lot of people don't recommend, or you can dry them in your oven. So I am going to attempt to air dry these because it maintains the best quality of the herb, just based off of the research. And fingers crossed, these will still be blooming well into the summer, so I can give this a try. If they don't work well, then I can try maybe doing them on a low setting in our oven. So I got my status. This has no medicinal properties, but it's stunning. They do really well dried. Some beautiful dried artwork. All right, I still have to harvest the echinacea. It was just covered in bees. Look at that one. It's got like 3 bees on it.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not think this would recover, and I am just like beyond ecstatic right now. Nathan was pretty confident that some of this stuff would come back. I think I was a bit more skeptical.
I think you were just mad in the moment.
I was probably just mad in the moment. But some of it is coming back, especially this side. So that is really, really awesome. I mean, I try to at least cut like 10 inches. So again, with the echinacea, I have been bundling them. And after doing more research, it's best if you hang them in like by individually, and then their petals will just fall off. So
like if I cut this,
just somewhere I can tie it up. I would cut it like here. I'd cut it right there. Whoop, not my finger. Look at that. So when you harvest echinacea, you can also use the leaves as well. So when I'm harvesting these, I'm trying to harvest some of.
you're cute.
Oh, I love our farm life so much, but I despise things that can sting me because I've been stung so many times. Which is why I told y'all earlier in the vlog I was gonna let the bees have their moment before I came in.
Don't you edit that out.
Oh, I'm not. The sheer look on my face, I'm sure, was great. All right, man, these look so good. So we've been politely warned by the bees that they have had enough of us. So we're going to call it a night.
That is a beautiful harvest basket.
Isn't it? Stunning. Just like vegetables or flowers, you want to harvest early in the morning or late in the evening. I wanted to get out here this morning, but it was too late by the time I tried to get out here. But really just want to wait until the dew's off of them, but they're fully hydrated. If you do have to come out here like middle of the day, maybe you just have something going on, just stick them in water first. That way they don't wilt super quickly. But I have found that I usually harvest my flowers early in the morning. My herbs and things, I have been harvesting them later in the evening, and it's been working out really well for me. So just a little tidbit, but look how pretty it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm feeling very encouraged by this little harvest. So now my plan, I'm talking to our friends on YouTube.
Oh. You're talking to me.
So all of the
What's the matter?
herbs that I dried on our DIY drying rack, I'm gonna now remove those and store in jars because they are fully dry, and that's where I'm gonna take these. I will bunch the yarrow up, I'll bunch the status up, it'll do fine. But then I'll put the lavender, I'll probably hang it on the drying rack, but this is where I have our fermenting section, and I also dry a lot of our flowers here on this pegboard. And since we have our countertop, this is where I'll probably hang the individual echinacea and calendula. That way when it drops its petals, it's not dropping on the floor. So I'm going to get busy changing out last year's flowers with this year's flowers. I am pretty excited about it, but thank you all for hanging out with me as I harvested all of these beautiful herbs from my miracle cottage garden that has somehow come back to me. I am so pumped, but thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon.